What up? It's your boy Papito, man, back with some information. So I'm gonna need y'all to slide into my notification and hit the bell with a beam and subscribe. And today's broadcast, man, being broadcast by real life street stars, and up is my man Hernandez Govan. We're gonna watch him tell some more subliminals about street life. Yeah, let's get to it.
666 Mafia, they're from Memphis, man. Do they have any rap beef coming up that you know of?
Yeah, they had some beef with Gotti. They had some beef with one of the homeboys, DJ Zerk.
Okay.
You know, from Zerk used to be with Squeaky.
Now watch this guy. I never saw this video, but I'm such a triple OG. I can decipher subliminals that OGs say because I'm triple O in the perspective game. Check this out.
Did any of that beef ever reach national? Like it's all
well, the 3-6 and Gotti beef did. You know, they went song for song. I think. Okay. I know Gotti made a song about 3-6. I can't remember the song that 3-6 shot back.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I'm sure they
Yeah.
When you see it get to the level of Gotti, Dolph, you know, and again.
See, let me let y'all know, before this guy tell y'all his side of the story, he have to be careful because he already know both sides of the story. But what he don't want to do is incriminate himself, so he throws subliminals out there as if he allegedly, from his resources, you understand, is giving him. But he's tied to the streets, bro. This is a real street dude, y'all. When I say real, bro, do not play with this guy, bro. You respect him and his you know, his space, bro. But at the same time, I'm triple O. You know what I'm saying? I'm older than this guy, much older than this guy. I've been there and done the same type of, lived the same type of a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, in so many ways. So I'm gonna tell y'all his subliminals. Let's get to it.
Shout out even with Finesse being from Memphis, a few other guys. When you see it getting to that level, and mind you, we're gonna go through your history in a second because you know, again, you have ties even places outside of Memphis. But
y'all see that? He got ties even places outside of Memphis. The dude is heavy, bro.
When you see it get to a level of what the CMG PRE beef got to, are you just saying, hey, that's just music in the streets mixed together, or what? How do you look at that as far as these guys are making technically?
Let me say this right fast. This never been said. Y'all interviewing a real street guy trying to get in and get more coals cracked. And you got the right guy up here because he's still active. You understand? He's still active in the streets. So if you want a real street interview, you got the right guy up here. You know, I respect his boundaries and everything. You understand? I'm just not a street guy anymore. I'm sitting up here, grandfather and everything else. You know what I'm saying? But I understand street politics and I know street language and how to decipher street codes. Here we go.
Now, going from hundreds of thousands of dollars to now going on M's. And you still see, you know, again, you're in the city. So that's what I'm saying. If the world looks at it as like, oh, this is entertainment because they're probably in a high rise somewhere out in Seattle. They're not looking like they on the street. So when you see like these guys are touching real money and they still beefing on this level, like how do you look at that?
I mean, you can look at it several different ways. You can look at it like some people are like, man, niggas got too much money to be arguing over some petty shit. Like it's just too much to lose. It's just too much to risk. Or you can look at it like someone like me, somebody that'll die about their respect. You know, and coming from that environment that I come from, a lot of people was raised on that. I gotta die by my respect. You ain't gonna do that. And it's unfortunate that some people live by that code. And I think that played a big part in their beef.
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't, at first, it wasn't no blood shed yet. You know, it was just disses on music, you know, and songs and shit. And I think some things were said and God had took it personal. You know, I probably would have took it personal too, some of the things. You know, you get to talk about people's family and, you know, the house syndrome and all of that, you know. So it gets, you know, words can cut.
Yeah. Let me explain to y'all. Basically, what he's saying is, you crossed the line. You understand? And he himself, you know what I'm saying, tied to the streets, say, bruh, this dude crossed the line. Somebody go and tell him, somebody crossed the line. I need this taken care of. And guess what? Real street guys, they gonna get it taken care of because he has crossed the line. This is what Hernandez is telling y'all. Dolph was killed because he crossed the line with certain things. He crossed those barriers.
It's crazy because we had Finesse 2 Times Mom on here, and she said something that was, it kind of made you understand the mentality of a Memphis artist, let's say, to where, man, this thing is generational. She said her mother grew up in the same projects, her grandmother grew up in the same projects, so we got 3 generations leading up to Finesse that grew up in the same projects from the bottom, like ain't had nothing.
Yeah.
So
did she say walk home?
Yeah. So you already know.
No, I'm
gonna pull it up. Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up. I remember she said that someone commented like, "Oh, I'm from. I know her." Like, so we looking at people who maybe daddies and mamas didn't have any money. You know, like this is like first generational people touching money. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you don't get too far from like I'm gonna move about my respect. I'm gonna die about my respect because you know this money's still a new thing. It ain't even no generational stuff yet. Mm-hmm. It's just right now where we got it, but I ain't worried about the next generation yet. We still gotta keep a word out here. Do people in Memphis move like that as far as even from yourself, from those around you, homeboys growing up? Like was everyone like just on go, or do people be like, man, I got too much to lose, I'm gonna go home? Like from the people you around.
I mean, I got friends that wouldn't dare do some of the things that I've seen or I've done myself. Yeah. I got friends that, they TTG, train to go. So, I come from the era, like I got, I never looked down on my friends that was in the sports playing ball. Especially that was my day ones, just because I done converted over into the streets and now I'm looked at as this, this neighborhood, I guess hero, so to speak, or whatever, I never looked down or whatever. I should have kept and stayed on that path for playing sports. And, I hate I got off on the exit because I was playing sports and stuff at one time. So, everybody not like that, you had a few positive. I had a few positive people around me, but for whatever reason, I just chose the route that I chose.
All right. In this conversation, we're gonna jump around, but right now, I do want to stay on, this case that almost took your life away. When it first went down, and I think you spoke on this on like Glad or something when you first got released, where he asked you in regards to what was your thoughts when someone like a Dolph, ultimately, of course, there's been shootings before, but someone like a Dolph ultimately loses his life. Did you see the video in which it happened? The day it happened, did someone see the video, or did you see like the actual shooting of Dolph?
Yeah, I seen it on social media and the news.
Immediately, when you see it, again,
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all believe this dude sitting home watching the news? Possibly. But guess what? He's tied to the streets.
What are your thoughts? Like, this is just so sloppy, or this is just like, because, normally, again, you're in Dallas right now, and we'll speak on it, but, the trial of Mo3 is coming up too, and we seen from Tupac to Biggie, at the time, I ain't seen nothing happen where you see like Mo3 getting gunned down the way he was gunned down. I ain't seen nothing happen like that. It's so just the brazenness of it from the artist. I'm like, wow. And then of course Dolph happens just right after, and I'm like, oh, it's too brazen, daylight. From what it looks like okay, it looks like a hit.
Yeah.
What was your thought process on just the location, the execution of? Were you like were you surprised that it was just such a brazen attack on Dolph like that? Or is that just regular?
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you why I wasn't surprised. Considering what's been going on, over the years with the back and forth between them. I mean, I knew the beef wasn't over. So it wasn't shocking or whatever. Shit happened. Especially when you're in the neighborhood like that. You got when it's on, and you're supposed to move like it's on. So I wasn't surprised or whatever. I hate that it happened because he was actually a good dude.
Yeah, he was.
Let me tell y'all something. But those boundaries was already broken. You see? And it was already in motion. You feel me? The street codes already was broken. So it was already in motion what was about to happen and what was going to take place. You see, he can reminisce off it right now because he realized whatever, went on in the streets, allegedly that he was a part of, he realized it was really stupid. You know what I'm saying? And someone is gone. But he's so street, he's stupid too. You feel me? He caught up in the streets so deep, he don't realize it until it's over with. It's your boy, man.
Actually, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. If anybody want to clock when we're doing this interview, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and he was out about to give turkeys.
Like I said, man, this is an older video, so I want to go back and show y'all how to decipher this thing. So let's hear this last little few minutes of what he said.
Back.
For sure. As he did every year.
As he did every year. So he only came back in town to make sure he does his yearly turkey drive.
Yeah.
And for that to happen,
and and when people say that, they never touch on the fact that, God was doing that too.
Yes.
Y'all see what? Listen to the subliminals. Now he's saying Gotti was doing that too. You see? Gotti was doing that too. You see? Gotti was doing that too.
He been doing it. He just didn't never make it. He didn't never want the notoriety for it or whatever. And I ain't saying it to try to diminish nothing Dolph did, because whatever Dolph did, for the city,
Nah, you really trying to downplay it. Because why would you have to say that in the interview while they talking about you about this man? You see? Now you're actually trying to make yourself, feel a little bit better about what went on in Young Dolph's demise, to say, well, this person was doing that too. Just because he was doing that don't mean he was a good person. That's basically what he's saying.
He's consistent. So, shout out to Dolph.
Yeah, listen, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me pause that. This the real. Y'all getting the real right here. You're getting the real. So on that note, man, y'all go check out my page, man. I'm just starting to load the videos up. You hearing it right here, man. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing it right here. I'm back with these videos. Putting them up, breaking them down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Holler at me later.